Management development training. So Neil, if you do all this work for the company, why do you need to develop the managers?
I think it's really important for leadership and management development within any organisation. I started off as a general manager myself many years ago with probably little or no training in managing staff. I knew the processes, but not about actually going through it. And I think if you're a first line manager in particular, it should be there so that your staff can look up to you, the advice that you give is right, and you can see sometimes the warning signs in some of the areas where you might want to be developing your people or taking action. So I think it's very important that you get that in-house and you don't just rely on somebody else doing it on your behalf. I kind of come in to support them, to develop them, develop these skills and work alongside them.
So how do you develop them?
In a number of ways, really. I mean, as I've said, sometimes it's just merely working alongside the manager and talking them through the process so that they understand it and they understand why you're actually going through all the steps that may in some cases feel overly bureaucratic. And I try and keep all the bureaucracy out of it, but there are certain steps that you're required to do under the legislation that you've got to carry out. Other times I'm working with senior managers, coaching them, really kind of to bring out the best of them, to try and get them to think through where they want to go within the company, and really sort of guiding them and nurturing the right directions. And I've also acted as a mentor for other HR professionals and for people within the company to learn from what I do. Obviously there's the formal side of it in terms of the classroom. I do some classroom training where managers from either one specific company, or we mix them about so that they're from 2 or 3 companies, come in and learn about particular HR related topics, and they can learn from each other as well. We try to be as interactive as possible so that they go out with more of an understanding about people management, feel a lot more confident about how they deal with some of these issues. Don't expect them to be a people manager overnight, but I do think it's one of those areas where sometimes people assume they have some knowledge in that area, and maybe just need the edges smoothing off a little bit, even if it's just so that they can spot something so that they can call me.